Hey guys, I'm Jay, new grad nurse, and today I'm gonna share my NCLEX experience with you guys. I actually passed the NCLEX with 75 questions. Unbelievable, right? And I want to share this story with people because a lot of people share that they passed NCLEX with 75 questions, but some of us, who didn't do well in nursing school, like myself, I did not believe I would pass the NCLEX in 75 questions or even pass it on the first try. A little about me, I recently just graduated from nursing school back in May 2019. Like I said, I wasn't the best nursing student. I had a commute. I drove an hour each way almost every day of nursing school, and I was working 2 PRN jobs at the hospital. So nursing school was like my whole life. So I had pretty much no life other than nursing school. Even on the weekends that I was off from school, I was at the library studying. The type of student I was in nursing school, I did all the assignments. I didn't do the reading now. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't do that reading now because it was too much reading. But I turned all my assignments in on time. Everything that I had to do, I turned it in on time. I was motivated. I tried to stay positive throughout the whole program, even though it was so hard for me, and I was kind of like a loner. I only had about maybe one good friend who studied with me throughout the program. But I'll make a whole nother video about my nursing school experience. But today I want to talk about my NCLEX experience and how I did not think I would pass in 75 questions. And here's why: because people in my program, I felt like I wasn't the one who was making the the A's and B's on tests. Usually I'll get out there with maybe like 83 at the most on most of my exams. But I studied a lot. I listened to recordings over and over and over again. To prepare for the NCLEX, I did what you call the Kaplan review course. It was provided through my school, and we did it like a week after graduation, well, maybe 2 weeks after graduation. And we had a lady who came there in front of the class, and she went over the strategies on how to, how to pass the NCLEX. At the time, I was so confused and I hated it. It's called the decision tree. I hated every second of it, and I hated her for even being there at the time. But after taking the NCLEX, that was the only way I could have passed that test, because the NCLEX was like, it was things that like you couldn't memorize. Like I'm sure you guys watch other videos. You can't memorize the NCLEX stuff. The questions are all critical thinking type questions, so you can't really memorize it. And if it's something that you see that you memorize, that means you're not, getting the right type of questions at passing level. Before I took the NCLEX, I waited about 5 weeks. Not because I wanted to wait 5 weeks, it's because that was the only time I can get an exam scheduled, because I'm a student with accommodations, meaning like I have a disability, so I have to have accommodations. And Pearson VUE, is a company that's separate from your board of nursing, so you have to wait for them. If you had accommodations throughout nursing school, you have to wait for them to find someone, for them to hire someone privately to apply those accommodations to you. Yeah, and to prepare for the NCLEX, like I said again, I used Kaplan. I did about 2,000 questions, and I can upload my little Excel sheet that I did and the days that I did, do those practice tests. Also, I was working full-time hours, because during my last week of nursing school, like all hell broke that last month of before my NCLEX exam, all hell broke loose. My grandma was in the hospital. My roommate moved out on me. It was just hell, and it was like, man, I had to make money, so I had to work full time at the hospital and study for the NCLEX while I had downtime at work. So, and I didn't expect all of that to happen. I thought I was going to be smooth sailing up until the NCLEX, but like I said, you know, life happens, especially when you're an adult, like you're not the traditional student. You know, if you're not living with your parents, life is going to happen to you when you're responsible for paying bills and stuff. It's just really hard, but you know what? It's doable. And like I said, I passed the NCLEX at 75 questions, which is highly unlikely. I still am in disbelief about passing NCLEX at 75 questions because, like I said, I wouldn't say terrible nursing student, but I wasn't like the brightest. Like, I had no idea sometimes what we were learning in school. But like I said, I showed up to school every day and I did what I was supposed to do to pass and graduate nursing school. And I actually loved it, so studying was not so difficult for me because I actually, you know, it's something I wanted to do. Nursing is something I wanted to do since I was a child. So it wasn't like, you know, like a chore for me to, you know, study. It's like something I enjoy learning. I enjoy, you know, taking care of people. It's something natural for me. The Pearson VUE trick does work, so believe in it. Soon as I got outside of the NCLEX exam, I got an email saying that my test had been submitted, blah, blah, blah. I have accommodations, so they had to, I guess, double grade it. So I didn't, when I first got out of the exam, it told me my test was on hold. It was on hold till like 3 o'clock today. 4 o'clock, before I was like getting ready to go to church, I checked the exam again, and it had showed that it went through. I did the Pearson VUE trick, changing my credit card number and everything, and I got the good pop-up, which is you cannot register for exam again, which was great news for me. But I still was like, I was still in disbelief because I was like, no, I passed the NCLEX in 75 questions on the first try. No, something has to be wrong. I never do anything right, which is like basically my nursing school experience. I never like did anything like good for mine. Like, I was never like the top student. So I was like, no, this can't be right. I have to like go through, you know, something crazy for this to be true, which I didn't. I actually, you know, passed the exam. The next day, it was July the 4th, and of course the Pearson VUE was closed, so I didn't get my results. But I kept doing the Pearson VUE trick, and I kept getting a good pop-up, and I was like, something's not right. Something bad has to happen to me, which is my life, you know. I'm so used to something crazy happening or something not going well. So the next day, which I didn't sleep almost for 2 days because I was like, oh man, if I pass, they're gonna change their mind. They're gonna say I failed, because like I said, it's something normal for me. And then in the July the 5th, I got up. I got I'm here in North Carolina, so you can do the quick results. I did the quick results. I paid the $8, and I got the email saying you passed the NCLEX, you know. And I was like, wow. I just started like, I started like crying. It was like happy tears because I was like, man, I finally finished. And you know, if you're in nursing school, after graduation, you're not finished. Believe me, you can, that whole month up until the NCLEX, I stressed out, you know, because I was like, man, this NCLEX thing's so hard. People scared me. But nope, passing 75 questions, but you have to do the work. Don't just think you're gonna go there and pass the NCLEX exam in 75 questions. You have to do the work. You have to put in the time, do your practice tests, do your remediations, and don't let nobody scare you. I feel like the NCLEX was a lot easier than my nursing school test because my nursing school was hard as crap. and which is great because, like I said, we're one of the top nursing schools in the state. But they make us work for it. I'm telling you, they make us work for it. But the NCLEX exam was not near as hard as people made it out to be. I thought it was gonna be this beast exam. No, I can't share much about the NCLEX because, like I said, I'll break a law. But don't be scared of the NCLEX. You'll be fine. Believe me. If you study whatever program you use, you'll do just fine. So, yeah. So that's my NCLEX experience. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to share with you because, like I said, if you're not a nursing student, you kind of like don't have anybody to talk to about these things because nobody understands how you can graduate and still have to take another test. It's really kind of confusing to people unless you're a nurse. So, yeah. So that's my nursing school experience. I mean, my NCLEX experience. Sorry, no more nursing school for me. Thank you, Jesus. But I am gonna go back and get my BSN. But yeah.